Hello again, Eric here, Steffen Outdoors. I was looking through my archery gear and I came across a couple of arrows that need to be refletched, and I decided why not record it. So this is fletching arrows the easy way. While I'm refletching the arrows, I decided to strap my GoPro to my head. That way you'll be able to see exactly what I'm seeing from a bird's eye view. It straps to my head just like that, and everything that's in front of my eyes will be right in front of your eyes. Okay, so to get started, I need some rags. Got some new fletchings here. My Fletch-Tite, acetone, my fletching jig. This is a right helical jig from Arizona E-Z Fletch. Works very, very nicely. Got a utility knife to get the old fletchings off and scrape that old glue out of them. Now everything I do with my GoPro, you can see on my phone. So if I want to see exactly what image I'm capturing, all I got to do is take a look at my phone and I can do that. I can start it, I can stop it, and I can change different settings. On to the arrows. One fletch is already off. The other I can just easily pull off of here. Or not so easily. I glue them on pretty well. But as you can see, there's a lot of leftover glue and rubber still on that arrow, and I'm going to clean all that off. I don't want to carve deep into that arrow because that's going to damage it. Just nice and light, just to get that glue off of there. Now that I have most of the residue off of that shaft, what I'm going to do is get some acetone, put that on a rag and wipe it real well. Got two of them here. I'm going to wipe them down real well. And by doing that, I'm going to find out, did I get all that glue off or did I not? The other thing that acetone is going to do is if I have any oil in my fingers on my skin, I want that oil to come off of there. I don't want any remaining oil on that arrow because I want that glue to stick really, really well. Looks pretty clean. And we'll clean the other one right away. Looks pretty good. So to get started, what we do, clean that shaft really nice with the acetone. Make sure there's no oil or any other kind of residue on here that's going to keep the glue from sticking. We're going to do the same thing with my fletchings. Now these are vanes. They're just regular plastic vanes. You absolutely can use the feather style fletchings or even real feathers if that's something you're interested in doing. I've been shooting vanes a long time. They hold up really well in the weather. If they get a little rain on them, they're not instantly ruined. So that's one of the things that keeps me coming back to using vanes. Now I've been using this method for many, many years. I was trying to remember how long it's actually been. I know it's been since before I had kids, and my oldest child is a sophomore in college right now. What I don't remember is if I have been using this jig and this method since before I met my wife. That would have been 1993, so that takes us back quite a while. So these are clean. We should be ready to get started on our arrow. Now I've got these all clean. I noticed there was really a lot of a white dusty film in these black ones. So I imagine it was in the green ones too, just couldn't see it very well. So now I'm going to grab my fletching jig I'm going to open that up. The cock feather, the odd one, goes in this tan one here. And then the other two go on one of the darker green matching arms of the jig. Then I need to apply a nice even bead of glue down the length of each one. Nice and easy. Try to get it even as you can. Not too thick, not too thin. I'm going to do that for all three. It's down inside the jig. There's a little straight plastic piece that my knock's going to fit on. So I'm going to set that arrow in there, just like that. I'm going to push up, twist, and slowly release. The spring will press those arms up against that arrow. I'm going to slide this holder on over the arrow, right onto those arms, and hold that nice and tight, nice and snug. Now I'm going to let that dry. It dries in about 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to leave it about 35 minutes, and then we'll take that off and see what that looks like. So our first arrow here has been drying. I'm going to take it out of the jig. So I'm going to remove the cap. Grab around this bottom portion. There's a spring in here. So I'm going to push from the end. I'm going to twist. And then ever so carefully pull each one of these arms down. And there we are. Just like that. Now I just want to make sure these arms are clean. And then I'm going to lay my next set of fletchings in here. I start with the cock feather and the off-colored arm and the other two in the other arms. And I know the cock feather doesn't matter anywhere as near as it did years ago. It was more important back in the day. But sometimes old habits die hard. So I'm going to apply glue to each one of these now. Nice, steady, even bead. Not too light, not too heavy. With all three veins ready to go, with glue applied, I'm going to grab my arrow, align my knock with the plastic guide inside there. Pull down on this collar, twist. Let's slowly release the arms and slide the holding collar over the top. 20 to 25 minutes, that'll be done. I'm going to leave it for 30 to 35 just to give it a little extra time. I really don't need it, but I'd rather err on the safe side. Alright, so this arrow's finished. So I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put a little dot right on the tip of that fletch. And I'm going to do all three. And the reason I'm doing that is if I'm shooting at targets or something like that, if they were to go through farther than expected, that might get that edge could catch something and it could get torn off. This just gives it that little bit of extra strength in that situation. Like I say, I've been doing this for wow, well over 20 years, probably 25 years using this method. I haven't even replaced my jig. I've been using the same jig all these years, and it's been working really, really well for me. It's quick, it's easy, and there are some nice jigs out there. You know, you do one fletch, one feather at a time with them, but you line up 6 in a row or 12 in a row or whatever, and they do a really nice job, but they cost a lot more. I can't do one arrow in a half an hour. I don't know, this is just really, really easy to do. So I've kind of stuck with it. When we're all done, we've got 2 arrows freshly glued fletchings. We're going to let these sit for about 24 hours just for the glue to cure, and they'll be ready to shoot at a target. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my video on fletching arrows the easy way, and hopefully you found it informative. Thanks for watching.